let's mount up a camera. Yo guys, Donkin Dave here, and I wanted to show you how I was going to mount up my MotoVlogging camera and setup. But first I wanted to show you what I had prior, and what I have here is a Bell Vortex helmet, which is a decent helmet. And what I did here is I went to Home Depot or Lowe's or one of the hardware stores, and I got some plate 1x aluminum and made a bracket and drilled a hole for the camera. This is a 1/4 inch by 20 thread per inch bolt. This is what the standard is for all cameras. So I made this bracket, and then it's attached using the 3M Super Velcro stuff. I don't know exactly what it's called, but there's a guy named Everide, Everide, who does dual sport riding, and he made his own bracket using this. So Everide, I copied what you did and made my own bracket. And of course I have my bolt coming in here, and I can fasten it down, attach it using the wing bolt there, or the wing nut right there, and that way I can attach my Sony I believe it's an AS100 camera. And the nice thing about this is that I have a microphone jack that's right there under the camera, and I put that inside of the helmet underneath the cheek pads so I could talk, and that worked out really well. Now obviously the thing about this is there's no adjustability on this at all. Once you make it, you have to make your settings correct and then mount it up correctly so that you get your line of sight perfect. So there's no adjustability on this. The one thing that I did like about this is I can take this thing off fairly easily and then reattach it. Now I did have a wreck on my bike last year, and it came off. So you know, it's reusable. Even if it breaks away, you can reuse it. Now on the new GoPro setting GoPro mount that I'm going to use here, it probably will not have that breakaway ability, but it will have the adjustability. So I'm going to see how I can do with that. I wanted to show you a little bit about the Sony action camera, and this is the underside to it. Now there is another cover that should go over this, and unfortunately it kind of blew away with the wind. But underneath here there is the items that you need to be able to get to, and this is supposed to be a splash-proof camera, which means it can get rained on, but it won't go underwater effectively. But you can get to these items by flipping over that cover, and especially there's the microphone jack right there. Now this is the hole for the standard camera mount right there, and that is like I said earlier, it's a 1/4 inch with a 20 thread per inch bolt that'll fit into there. So that's what I had on the camera. On the Bell helmet. But the thing that I really liked about this was you could buy a lens cover that would protect your lens from bugs and things like that, and you would be able to protect your lens. And I like this setup right here because, you know, it's just easier to take care of and easier to clean. Now I looked up another guy online, and he made a mount, and he put the camera inside one of these cases and then mounted it up to the GoPro mount. But that didn't work out too well for me because I want to be able to keep this lens cover on there. And if you take this this mount right here off, it'll fit in there, but then you still have this lens that protrudes out, and this case here would not be able to be closed. So while I like the guy's setup, I didn't want to rid myself of this lens cover, and that's what he was doing. So what I've elected to do is to use a GoPro mount. It's a GoPro style mount, and the nice thing about this is it's very adjustable on this way, and then this way, and then this way again. And the neat thing is that you can get these attachments like this. I over ordered these, but what this does is this allows you to screw in to the regular camera mount right there, rather than a GoPro mount. So that's what I've elected to do with this. And in this case, this is one that is going to mount up right there, and it will kind of balance the camera a little bit. I didn't want to have too much weight on one end, you know, like it would hang down like that. But this mounts a little bit more closer to the center of the camera, and it will allow it to balance out a little bit. And that way, I can still have access to my microphone jack right here, and I'll show you how I mounted that. So what I've done here is I took the mount over there and I kind of pre-set it where I wanted to mount it, and the edge of the mount is right here along the edge of this tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this off and then clean the mount off so that I can mount it up and use the 3M tape effectively to mount it up. So what I've done is I've cleaned off both surfaces with rubbing alcohol and let that dry, and now I'll mount up the mount with the 3M tape. Okay, so I had to use two hands to mount this thing up correctly, but I'm just going to take the tape off that I used to line it up, and so that's on there, and it looks like it's going to work out pretty well overall. Now the next thing I'll do is I'll mount the camera on there, and then I'll show you how it kind of lines up and how I can adjust it. Okay, so I've got it mounted up, and as you can see, it sticks out quite a ways, so there's clearance from the helmet, and I can adjust it back and forth. I can adjust it this way, and then this way, and then this way. So that works out pretty well, and like I said, I don't think it'll have breakaway capabilities, but this will be very adjustable as opposed to what I had before. Okay, this is the microphone that I recently purchased. It's a Sony brand, and I don't know the exact model number, but I'll be able to post it. And the thing I like about this is the jack will go in here, and it's at a 90 degrees, so that'll lay kind of flush inside the camera. And what I'll end up doing is I'll take a piece of electrical tape and I'll just put it over this where the cover is supposed to be, and that'll make it more waterproof and splash proof, etc. I don't really plan on riding in the rain or taking video in the rain, so the tape will actually go over there and make it more waterproof. And I'll show you what it looks like mounting it inside, or putting the microphone itself inside the helmet. Okay, the microphone itself, you know, it's a lapel mic, so it's got this long cord here, and what I'll just end up doing is I'll just take it and run it down here and then put it inside the helmet underneath the cheek pad right there. And then I'll take the microphone and I can either put it inside the cheek pad itself, or I may end up taking some Velcro, and there's a Velcro piece right here inside the helmet, and I can get another piece of Velcro that'll mate up to that, and then I could mount it right there. Now the thing that I do not have at this time is one of those windsock type items to keep the wind off of it. If I blow on the microphone or something like that, they're going to hear a bunch of wind noise. I don't really want to have that, so I may go to the store and buy some of that and just put it in. But this is how I'm going to set it up for my motovlogging. So here's my setup right now, and as you can see, I've got the camera mounted and I've got the microphone mounted, and it looks like it's going to work out pretty well. Again, I've got the microphone leads and cord mounted inside the cheek pad, and I've got the microphone itself. It's kind of dangling there right now. I'll do a finished product on that, but as you can see, it'll work out pretty nicely for me. The Sony camera, most people say, well, why are you using a Sony instead of a GoPro? Well, GoPro makes good stuff. Sony made some good stuff. I got this about 2 years ago, and the thing that I liked about the Sony was it has a steady shot, and there were a number of reviews that came out and people were actually running with them. I mean, it looked like they were just smooth, and just really liked the way that kind of looked. And the audio quality was really good with the Sony at the time compared to the GoPro, and I think it still is probably a little bit better than the GoPro as far as audio quality goes. The lens characteristics of the Sony, the picture is just as good, if not better, than the GoPro. And Sony has come out with a whole bunch of new cameras now. Some of them are 4K and things like that. So they're a little bit more money. I think they're in the same ballpark with the GoPro as far as cost goes. But Sony just makes some good stuff. And the other thing that I can do with this is it's got Wi-Fi to it, so I can be riding down the road and have it hooked up to my cell phone and turn my camera on and start recording using my cell phone. So that worked out pretty well too. And the other thing, you can get multiple cameras hooked up to your app as well. So that works out. I'll probably invest in another Sony action cam so I can mount another one up. So that's why I do that. So that ought to be it for now. I appreciate your listening in, and if you have gotten some good info off of what I've provided you, please hit the like button, and please subscribe and share it if you can, and give me your comments. I'm going to try to do a lot more video blogging on the bike, and we appreciate your comments and your subscription. In the meantime, this is Donkin Dave out.